Hello, everyone. I know I don't have anybody in right now, and that's okay. But if anybody comes in, or as everybody watches, uh, this is my response as to what Neo stated towards me, and also to some of the statements towards some of the content creators that I've been coming in defense for. First, I would like to start off by saying no, I have not been paid by Kevin Wesley to state my opinions on certain matters. Um, I feel that if I were to be paid, then everyone would clearly be able to see within the platform a form of profit or a better form of professionalism, right? So no, I have not been paid by anyone to express my concerns on this matter. Okay. I appreciate Neo for her response. I am not in any form of offense of her response because I set out for her, right? So I'm not in any offense to her response. Okay, so I'm just gonna go into certain things and highlight certain things. Um, and because a lot of people, I guess, on Neo's platform, wants to understand certain things behind my patterns, I guess my laughter and things like this, and I'll highlight as how they relate towards my standpoint with Neo's behavior patterns. Okay. Um the reasoning behind me expressing my concern about this situation is because when I first came across Neo and I saw the disagreement between her and Kevin Wesley, I couldn't quite understand. I was a little bit puzzled. You get what I'm saying? And I'll highlight some of that information as well. But then I started to notice that she had some indifferences with other people. And so I started to take a further look, of course. But I was on her live one day when she was talking to Kevin, or she had Kevin on her platform, and it was her and him and basically other people stating their stances against Kevin. And it was something that she said towards the end that was about her experience as a child. And when she stated that experience and the passion that she stated it in, I most definitely believed her. And thus, that is the reasoning as to why I was stating that her perception has been tainted. And I'll go into that as well. Um, I have not for a second questioned her trauma as a child because of her behavior patterns towards men. So no, anything that I stated, Neo, was not to question or to say that it was your fault for being a victim of child molestation or anything as a child. No, you are not at fault for that. But we can understand how things can taint our mental development and how we can perceive things in life, and then we go on with the characteristics of a tainted mindset, and we become the monster in everyone else's story. I'll get into that. Now, you spoke of omnism as your practice of belief. And when you spoke of that, I understood that. And the reason why I understood that is because I see the reasoning as to why certain things cannot respectfully get across. Um, Especially with take Kevin Wesley for instance. His idea is more so within the acknowledgement and accountability of oneself. And the and with omnism is in regards of basically, you know, acknowledgement of a god or different forms of gods based upon the religions and the true factors within those. And there's a there's a confliction between that, because then you would have to change the course of understanding self accountability. So, as far as religion is concerned, I don't participate or practice any form of religion. But if anybody wants to get an idea of my format of understanding, the closest you will get is with Gnosticism and with occultism. I definitely relate with those things. Okay. All right. So I wrote some things down, but we're gonna get in the topic of my laughter, since that was so, you know, what she said was evil or something like that. Now you state that you are in an encouragement or in an awareness that men lack behavior intent not behavior but emotional intelligence. Cool. That's your stance. You feel like men need to gain more emotional intelligence. So I'm going to start to share my screen, because today we're going to learn a lot of terms. Okay. And within that, you'll understand some things. Um, Let me get to sharing my screen real quick. Okay, I know you guys can see this, but yes, I did take some notes. Okay, so we're looking up emotional intelligence on Google, right? And I like this perspective from this article, Very Well Mind. And in short, it says the ability to perceive, interpret, evaluate, control emotions, to communicate and relate to others effectively, right? So, in order to perceive um, the reasoning behind my laughter or my pauses in my statements, you would have to be of an emotional intelligence, right? Well, now let's look up laughter. And I think I want to say that I looked it up already. Here it goes. Laughing at your own jokes in usually the result of nervousness or feeling awkward. Um I've stated multiple times that I'm new to this. So stating that Kevin paid me to do this, it doesn't really add up. I have a StreamYard icon on the videos as I speak. He would have to pay me for professionalism, right? He would want me to be able to get this point across to a certain it to on a certain kind of format. I would expect, especially with him having a major platform, right? So no, I am vocalizing my feelings. And I am not used to vocalizing my feelings, especially to a major setting such as social media. So, yes, nervousness or feeling awkward is most definitely an emotion that I have displayed within my videos. So, if we're going to relate this to being evil or even to minimize it or find some type of way to create humiliation by relating it to a video game, it shows the lack of emotional intelligence with one who promotes it, right? Okay, so let me get back to you guys. Hey, everybody, for coming in. I'm building up, I'm picking up, and I appreciate everybody for coming in to hear my point of view. I also respect the fact that everybody went within their platforms and spoke on their stance and their feelings. I definitely I didn't have time to look at everything yesterday. I was expecting the video for myself to be played on the day that it was scheduled, right? But I guess I had to wait, and that's okay. But because I had to take care of certain things, I wasn't able to get to see things right away. I respect the fact that she wanted to. Thank you, V, for listening. Shout out to you. I loved you guys' videos last night. It was amazing. Hey, Andrea, you are so wise. And V Bennett, Andrea, Brother Shaka, you guys are amazing people. I'm so happy to have run into you guys and to find you guys' platform and your space. Thank you guys for being so welcoming to me. Um, you guys have been an example. Hey Lakeisha, how you doing, Mama? You guys have been an example of people who understand emotional intelligence, because I have stated, and you guys have listened in about me being nervous about not being used to these things, right? So you guys with patience have been working and vibing with me, and for that I appreciate it, and that is why I'm here. To speak for those who are actually being tainted in a particular lighting that is contrary to the behaviors um that they have upon their own characteristics. Okay, Neo seeks that men become more emotional intelligent, but she wasn't emotionally intelligent about my laughter. I'm not offended by this. I understand. I came for Neo. I targeted Neo. And so in this, I am not a victim, right? And nor am I in control of her response. And this is an example that we can set for Neo to understand. Um, and I will definitely get to that. I will definitely show you guys an example of that. But what I want to say to Neo is that I am not I'm not going to target you anymore. And the only reason for targeting you was for this example set forth, okay? I am not going to target you anymore, but I am most definitely going to have a stance on my give my expressions of what has been happening towards these men, and I'll definitely give my my perspective on the reasoning as to why, the mental development, the trauma, and how it affects our perception and how we go out in life with this tainted perception and causing further damage within ourselves and others, right? um you questioned my competency, but the question is, how is it that somebody would promote or vocalize the concerns of certain behaviors and mannerisms within others, but the displayment of themselves is in contradiction, right? Okay, so now that everybody is aware about emotional intelligence, because I gave the definition, and now we're aware of nervousness being an emotional, emotional. We know that laughter is a response, or an or is actually the action of nervousness, right? Okay. So as I grow, as I progress in my platform, I'll try to speak faster, or maybe write some things down, and just get over the my own nervousness, because it's not anyone's fault, right? So I'm no victim to that. I don't take any I don't take any hurt or anything from any of that, because with my ideas, I don't necessarily see the point in respondents with emotions. I see the logic, and thus I do understand. Now you speak of advocation. You're an advocator, and shout out to V Bennett and Shaka and Andrea. Your discussion on that situation last night was awesome. But I do recognize that a lot of the people, some people that come to my channel, they haven't necessarily been able to join in with the different content creators to get their different perspectives. So the best of my ability, I'm going to highlight my perspective as far as an advocator. Okay. When someone states that they are an advocator for something, one would think that an advocator would have certain behavior patterns, right? So let's look into that. Let's look into I done booted myself out. Okay, so I wanna show everyone the behavior patterns of an advocate. But basically, the behavior patterns of an advocate would show the awareness of someone's belief or stance, and being able to communicate thoroughly with understanding those things, right? I want to look it up so bad. Thank you so much, V Bennett. I really appreciate that. Because a lot of people don't understand that when you are stating that you're in a particular stance for something, or stating that you're doing something, they want you to accept their emotional behaviors, because they give you an emotional play on it. Um, Hello, divinely inspired. I also okay. So in advocation, you want to advocate for something. And when people question your advocation, you state that they are you give out a slur. You respond with a slur. And you use gay as the slur that you wanted to respond to them in. And what I'm trying to get across to Neo is to understand how they don't even go into comparison, but to have an offense to being called gay because of the way that you used it, it is nothing wrong. What you did was you used gay in a format of a slur, and now you want to defend or deflect someone's emotions because their emotional response towards this format because you want to say that it's homophobic. Hey, brother Maya, how you doing? And I had all of this ready yesterday, y'all, but I swear. And then we're going to get into behaviors of pushing an agenda. And I also have the information as to my reasoning for femcell. Okay. All right. A person who publicly supports or recommends a particular cause or policy, right? Now, in this article, we'll be able to see that certain things come with being an advocate. And what I want to highlight, the reason for me looking into these certain things is to show uh, characteristics and behavior patterns. You have behavior patterns of a person with um, a person who's stating that they're in advocacy, right? Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to advocate for one thing and also hinder the progression of a possible advocacy in another, right? So you don't want to state things as far as calling somebody slow because in a possible advocacy for people of mental disability or mental health, you would be basically in contradiction of advocacy, right? You basically would be stating, "Oh, I'm opposed for one thing, but I'm against the recognition of this form of advocacy." So you want to be able to communicate effectively, realize emotions, and understand and seek for change effectively and positively, right? Now I want to show um I want to show my statement as far as you being an agenda pusher. Okay. With this one right here, it says pull versus push. When we try to defend or sell an agenda item or idea, we're pushing against the resistance, causing further tension instead of resolving the issue. No issues are being resolved. Why? Because you keep pushing against, you keep resisting, you're lacking self accountability for your behaviors, right? Now I want to get into this video that I saved. And I want to say is this one. Let me see. Yep, it's this one. All right, and I had to get to a certain point. Now, in this video, Neil is going to understand my reasoning for what I stated in that video. Well, some of it, okay? And this is why I feel like you're an agenda pusher, because this right here had no logic whatsoever, okay? Everybody stick with me as I build and try to adjust from my nervousness that I also highlighted. And for someone who wants people to be emotional intelligent, they'll be able to understand or see that someone is responding in their behavior based upon their emotion of nervousness, right? I'll conquer that and just ride with me. That's
about
It came up because she called me crazy.
the things she's saying on her platform about me. See, this is what I mean by it's not going to be a realistic conversation. Now there's more shit to be pissed off about because now she's insulted our sacred relationship. You understand?
And this is the problem when you're speaking in advocacy. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of the behavior patterns that was coming, it's continuous and it's part of being. And this is why I stated that Neo could possibly be an agenda pusher, because it just continues. It's one pile of accusations upon another. It's from this point to the next point, and it's ongoing. It's a continual deflection of one's accountability, and it's also a format of minimizing someone else's uh justified response. You get what I'm saying? What I noticed about Neo is if anybody disagrees, or a lot of people that disagree with her, based upon their response and based upon how they respond, they're either slow or gay. So, you know,
You understand? So now it's Jamie. You're lame. You're less than important. You don't have all it takes. This man need more than you because he
right.
has another woman.
Yeah, I ain't say nothing like that. Ask her how does it feel, cause that's the vibe she getting off in her videos. I ain't say hell. I think she worthy enough to have one man love her unconditionally. You don't think that. That's why you have Lacey. You don't think she's worthy enough. I do, but unfortunately, she don't know that. But it's nothing wrong with Polly when it's done the right way. It absolutely not. But watch how he gonna try to manipulate. Also, you got something against black cultures and the covenant, and they're gonna talk about how African people have polys. But the point behind that is reason why that happens, because majority of them only have one wife. You get otherwise when you can afford to take care of them, not them taking care of you. It's when a rich man is trying to build a nation or nation building. It was more for survival. The strongest man with the strongest genes mate more because women carry kids 9 to 10 months. It only take a man on average 6 minutes to make a child. So that's why Polly existed in a lot of cultures. It was for a man who can afford to build his family can, not for men just to have access to multiple women to have sex with. That's why he got to keep cleaning it up, y'all. I take care of all the bills, but at one point you wanted to be poly and you was unemployed. You was trying to be poly with 2 females and you ain't even have a goddamn.
Now, mind you, all of this is just pure deflection. It doesn't matter of your emotions or points of how you feel basically about somebody's lifestyle or anything like that. What matters is your behavior and your response.
damn job at that time. Let's keep that real. But I'm telling you, but you see how now he's trying to act like I tried to tear her down as if she did not fucking call me crazy.
In your house.
Right.
You understand? When polygamy is actually a relationship just like any other family, okay, that people agree to. So
Right.
what she's saying is all these other cultures in the world who practice polygamy, it's because they're not enough for each other. And whatever wife is first.
I didn't say that. I said, do she feel like she's not enough? That was she bitter and mad and pissed off in her videos? Is she mad because how you treated her? Because I really hate with some of these poly men, and you notice they have a lot in common. It's funny how a lot of them are poly, and we later find out they're sexual deviants, right? The funny thing is, if it's natural for everyone to be poly, then why is there such thing as unconditional love or so?
Did everybody hear that? If it is natural to be poly, then why is there a such thing as unconditional love? Let me go back to StreamYard real quick. Did everybody hear that? Did everybody hear that? If it is natural to be poly, then why is there a such thing as unconditional love? So basically what I'm doing today is I'm going to be going back to the basics. Terminology. Okay? V says if she questions someone else's ability to take care of their home, she should volunteer her own tax return to the public. That's a good viewpoint. That's a good question. But my thing is this. How in a sentence you can say wouldn't poly be proof of unconditional love? Right, Kevin. That was the reasoning for my video. And you said that you weren't certain as to why, but here is the clip as to why I stated what I stated. How are you saying that poly isn't a form of unconditional love? Now, you're in avocation. And I understand your avocation is for the women and the children. And I also understand that you vocalize about homosexuality. And you also want to, consider somebody having a debate with you as far as homosexuality being in the Bible. Now, I understand what you're trying to get at as far as homosexuality being in the Bible, because then we would have to go with questioning the terminology of language and words from what I want to say Greek, or and how it was translated into the English form. You would have to do the history upon this, right? And some of these words didn't necessarily identify as homosexual per se. I get it. I understand that. Some of them they expressed about assault or pedophilia and things in that matter, or sodomy, which is not necessarily a term for homosexuality, is an expression or a sexual act. So I get it. Your viewpoint of why, you know, homosexuality, it may not necessarily be in disagreement as far as the historical biblical texts are in thing. But what you have to understand is back then homosexual was not necessarily a term, neither was heterosexuality. I'm not in defense against your stance or debate as far as that is concerned, but I think that it's more so of a debate between different scholars. You get what I'm saying? It's an opinion. You know, they'll say, well, it wasn't specified necessarily, or one would say that it was based upon the sentence or the idea for the sentence. So, you know, what's up in the air depending on how you stand for that, right? Since we want to question my level of competency. But in order to question my level of competency, we have to highlight yours. How is it that you identified this moment as not being a form of unconditional love? Am I making sense now? Am I getting clear to you? I'll play it back for you though. I understand that I'm new to the platform, and I respect your grace in that as well, because contrary to what I thought you were going to do as a response towards me, you actually behaved in a you kind of gave me a response in a more in a better lighting. I anticipated worse, but I definitely acknowledge and respect the fact that you understood that I possibly was not necessarily aware of certain things, and I get that. Thank you for that. But we're gonna back this up, and we're gonna play it again so people can hear this.
Cultures in the world who practice polygamy, it's because they're not enough for each other. And whatever wife is first.
I didn't say that. I said, do she feel like she's not enough? That was she bitter and mad and pissed off in her videos? Is she mad because how you treated her? Because I really hate with some of these poly men, and you notice they have a lot in common. It's funny how a lot of them are poly, and we later find out they're sexual deviants, right? The funny thing is, if it's natural for everyone to be poly, then why is there a such thing as unconditional love, a soulmate love, where there are people who can meet one person and they only love that one person only?
Now, you said that you would be able to teach me some things. And so in my in my videos, I wanted to make you aware that there is some basic terminology that you aren't prone upon. Soulmate is not something that you can necessarily just have with one person in a lifespan. Okay, let's clarify that. Okay, for anybody who's listening. Yeah, I know it'll still go over her head, Kevin. um but I want to identify, and she said that she's gonna have me a dedicated babysitter. So hopefully the dedicated babysitter listen to it and maybe be informed or enlightened as far as what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? I understand she probably won't respond because that's what she stated, and I honor that. And in honor of that, I won't say that I'm going for her anymore, and I won't build my platform based upon going for her. But I will continue, as she stated, giving a difference of opinion and stating why. I can do that in that format, right? That makes sense, right? Um, in her limited wisdom, generalizes too much. Yes, divinely insight. V. Bennett says she's just trying to guess her way to knowing what's going on and hoping to stumble across something she can exploit. Yes, because she also said that she was going to code break me. Okay, that's fine. And I'll break that down as well, as I identified her methods of code breaking before. And I'm definitely going to identify a lot of things as far as the behavior patterns towards Kevin Wesley, V. Bennett, Brother Shaka, and a lot of men. You get what I'm saying? I'm not stopping that whatsoever. But as far as saying, I'm coming for you, I'm not, because I got my response right. And I respect the responses. It's a lot lighter than I expected. But soulmate, for anybody who wants to Google this, because Google gives a lot of definition, okay? We don't have to get on here and not necessarily understand what we are saying. Soulmate, in short, is somebody that you come across in life that you may have related ideals, related understandings, or favoritism in a particular hobby, or also a form of a romantic relationship. Can you have more than one soulmate? You absolutely can. Okay. Can everybody understand that? Kevin Wesley, the work. Hold on. I got something on my screen. Okay, the work you've done already has dismantled her. She only has a few overused tactics to continue, would be redundant. She's deceitful, manipulative, and evasive, and a compulsive liar. You are absolutely correct. I do understand that in order to dismiss my concerns or my viewpoint, it was easy to state that I was possibly slow. I didn't know what I was talking about. Um and she also talked about my big old head, y'all. She also stated my laugh. Kevin, I don't know which part of the video that you came in, but I was stating how somebody who would promote for people to have a better form of emotional intelligence, they would be able to they should be able to have an idea of what that actually is, because I've already spoken in my videos about being nervous, right? So of course I would be laughing, or I would pause in my sentences and things and that such. I've highlighted these things because I've already identified this characteristic, right, of my nervousness, because this is a familiar thing for me, especially speaking for people to be able to see, right? So nervousness is an emotion. And certain things within nervousness, they show through laughter. They show through pause. They show through, they show, I gave the typical signs of someone who may be nervous. I still am. You get what I'm saying? So, thus we have someone who wants somebody to have emotional intelligence and she lacks it herself. Um, Thank you so much, Kevin. And shout out to Kevin, because Kevin was my first subscriber. Kevin he gave me my first shout out. You get what I'm saying? And I think because I'm not a hidden follower of Kevin, there's an assumption that Kevin is paying me, and he is not. This is based upon my own observation. This is the reason for me in this stance, because of my own observation. And a lot of the information, I don't have to go into depth of personal situations or encounters, because I'm highlighting behavior patterns. Regardless of the different situations, there is a reasoning as these situations continuing, as these situations happening. It's a cycle. You get what I'm saying? And anyone who is in awareness, they would understand that these constant situations that are happening to oneself is because of the lack of understanding of their own behavior, right? So I'm just giving education and light, but she wants to teach me.
They know that they cannot divide their love. Now, there's some people who claim they can do it. Kudos to them. But the truth is, even when you have kids, even though people don't like to admit it, you have one kid that you favor one of another. You don't love them equally. You just say the shit just because it's the right thing to say.
Now, Kevin, while they gather together in the name of community justice, they accuse anyone who speaks on my behalf of being paid. Another weak tactic. It is most definitely a tactic. And we, me, you, Kevin, and anybody else who has followed the saga of Brother LaTruth, we definitely seen this tactic being used, right? But in this video, she also stated that a person would favor one child above the other. Just in case anybody missed it, let me play it back real quick.
That's natural for humans to only love one person at a time. But am I one of those people who think poly is wrong? No. I think it's a beautiful thing when it's done right. Done right. But you will have your favorite wife. Hell, even the Bible says you can't serve two masters. You're gonna love one and hate another. Like, it's literally saying that humans can only unconditionally love one thing at a time. Like, come on, bro. But now he's trying to twist it, trying to make it seem like, I really hate with some of these poly men have something you favor over one another. But it's just nice to say you don't have no favorite. But there is one of his wives he loves more than the other.
And their standpoint on this, yeah, she did pretend to miss my point on that. And it's really sad because when you were targeting Kevin, you stated these things about a potential of him being a potential child molester based upon your experience. That's what the video, my video was speaking of as well. Well, how can you tell me, someone who has personally experienced the birth of life given to two children, that I am unable to love them both equally? I'll drop this down if anybody wants it. How can you determine that somebody would favor one child above the other? Who gave you this understanding? And what I want to express to people is, if you or anyone else is finding themselves in favoritism above another of one of your children, I highly suggest that you seek counseling, because there is something within yourself that is not healed. It has nothing to do with the children. Am I making sense? I'll play it back for you guys. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, my babysitter is here, so they'll be able to acknowledge that this makes no sense. And my stance on this situation is of logic and understanding. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much you want me to break this down. I did it in the simplest format, and even within my nervousness. You get what I'm saying? And so, you know,
Deviance. Right. The funny thing is, if it's natural for everyone to be poly, then why is there such thing as unconditional love, a soulmate love, where there are people who can meet one person and they only love that one person only? They know that they cannot divide their love. Now, there's some people who claim they can do it. Kudos to them. But the truth is, even when you have kids, even though people don't like to admit it, you have one kid that you favor one of another. You don't love them equally. You just say the shit just because it's the right thing to say. But deep down, you have your bias. You even have your favorite child, just like you have your favorite food. When a human loves something, when it expresses something that makes them happy, you have something you favor over one another. But it's just nice to say you don't have no favorite. But there is one of his wives he loves more than the other.
hey, hey, Kevin, let me see. Did I add you yet? Are you on? Oh no, that's just a video. um, You guys, and I got another video, and then I saw the manipulation that she was doing when she was having this discussion with Angelica. Um and I want to express my opinions on that as well. Divinely Insight says her limitations are making her look very ignorant. Perhaps she should take a break from YouTube. Most definitely. she don't, she don't know, Kevin. She don't know. and and yes, I did take some notes, y'all. I did want to highlight the video that she was speaking of as far as Kevin in that video as well, where she was speaking to Angelica. And she stated, and her reasoning for not showing the entire clip, because she stated she wanted to basically get to the point. And I guess her whole point was that she sh- the guy of the interview basically was responding to her using the bitch word in a format of a slur towards her. Hey Kevin, thank you for coming. I want to state
My
this.
pleasure. Peace to you.
I want to state this because, and I stated to you before, but you know, it was a 9-hour video. I'm pretty sure if she didn't have time, she probably didn't watch the whole thing. I wanted to state to you in clarity that I had already spoken of some of these things. And so my nervousness, nobody who looks at my videos would have been unaware. You get what I'm saying? I also want to give my gratitude to you and to everyone else for having the patience with that and understanding my process of build, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And I can also acknowledge that she probably acknowledged my process of build, but it was in contradiction of me being paid by you. Um, we can clearly see the StreamYard icon. And I can't take an offense to her stating that, but if she was to know me, then it would be an automatic insult towards me, because as far as professionalism, or especially when it comes to business, you want to make sure that if you're being paid for a product, that you do it in the best manner of sale, right?
Hmm.
I have shown that I have not been able to necessarily give that characteristic right off. So no, I have not been paid by Kevin Wesley. I would not even take any money as far as the purpose to do this. You get what I'm saying?
You know, of course, I am not paying you. It would be easy. It would be easy for me to assert that they are being paid, as they've said over and over and over that the reason they're doing what I'm doing is because I was protecting my brother.
Right.
Every person initiated from that one platform being brought on by Amora. So never once have I deflected from the things they were saying by simply saying they are being paid, even though that could be the case. Um, and I think that proves that I'm not deflecting, I'm not distracting, I'm being honest. I'm willing to confront anything that they say. They are avoiding me. They would not come on my platform, address me directly. They only want to tell stories the way they want to tell them, in a way to misinterpret it purposefully, to skew how somebody receives it. I watched her talk to Angelica and skew that whole situation with Callie coming over to Dwight's house and tell it in such a way to try to, make me look guilty of being gay and
Right.
make it look like Callie was really, something was really done wrong with him. And in order for her to know the total truth of it, she'd have to do a whole lot more work now. And it's only because Neil brings it up and skews it because she wants to distract away from what she's doing, from the whole question of why are you bothering Kevin.
Right.
She goes and now says it's a video from 9 months ago why she's bothering me. Makes no sense. Then she excused the whole purpose of that video, everything about that video, what was going on. She does this literally on purpose. And
Right. And that's
right,
what I wanted to highlight as well. Go ahead.
yeah, so I mainly just wanted to point out that, guys, everything that she is saying here is to distract. So Imagine this. I'm telling her to leave me alone. Why are you bothering me? And her responses lead to saying that Jamie is not feeling like she's worthy or enough. And now her whole video, the last few minutes, has been trying to explain that away. When really she could have just answered the question on why she keeps bothering me, right?
Right.
And so that's what I mean by this woman is a rabbit hole in and of herself. I could see how in any relationship with her, friendship, anything like that, if you're having a serious discussion and you feel she's wrong to you, you're not getting anywhere with her. I can tell. And she keeps applying everyone's behavior to saying that could be how they treat their spouse. But I'm like, yo, the way you behave, if you treat your brother that way, you always try to bring up his sexuality. Your girlfriend that way, if she addresses you about any issues you are in a relationship, I'm sure you don't always make her happy. You're definitely going to treat her all these same ways because you can't fake who you are. You understand? Like out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
Right.
Like she deflects as quick as anybody I've ever met as far as toxic people. You know, it's like she's already got them in the chamber. They'll make no sense, and then she'll justify to the end of the road on why she feels like she should have been able to say that. It's unreal that she has a whole different thing going on in her head.
Exactly. And this is why I wanted to show or highlight behavior patterns and self-accountability. You get what I'm saying? And then she stated in her video, was it her fault that she was molested or received traumatic treatment as a child? And my acknowledgement, my answer to that is no, of course not. It is most definitely not your fault, Neo. Never stated that. But here's the thing. When you voluntarily start to comment on somebody's page or channel or start to join in on the panel to speak or express, you have taken on the steps of, your own voice or your own participation within this situation, right? So how somebody responds is not necessarily in your control anymore, right? Your offense is because they did not respond in your favor. But what you have to understand is, in order to be in respect of someone, you have to honor that they have a form of understanding within themselves, and that is why they responded in a certain manner. Am I right? Now, your own take is to be offended and say that Kevin didn't protect you. Kevin didn't protect you. But we have failed to realize the accountability that we need to take, Neo, in that video. And I wanted to show the video in its fullness and highlight how you became emotional towards someone that we already understood had a questionable take on his behavior. You get what I'm saying? He already stated of his disrespect or disregard towards women and their behaviors, and you came on the panel and displayed some of these behaviors by responding to him in an emotional stance, and you got offended because you were not protected. Well, there's a natural assumption that if somebody steps into a certain position without any question or permission of anybody, because Kevin initially he wanted to speak to this person and get some insight. He did not ask for anybody to come and necessarily be on the panel and take in with this discussion, but he did give a hand or an option for anybody to join in if they wanted to. So he didn't ask you in particular. It was your choice. You decided to do that. And with that, you responded to this man in a negative lighting. Now, we can't control how he responds to you. We also can't control how Kevin responded to the situation either, right? So for you to carry on an offense to that and to say because of you being offended that this person is most definitely gay or a scammer or anything in the light is based upon your emotions to him not reacting in your favor. And that is the behavior pattern that I'm trying to show. Am I making sense?
Makes perfect sense. That's exactly what she's saying. If I didn't get her off my live, if I had let her stay on my live that day, if I would have cussed him out for him calling her a B, she wouldn't have been 9 months later changing her mind. She says, because she said she agreed with me at first with the Cali thing. She wouldn't have been changing her mind 9 months later. That's what I get, so to speak.
Right. Now,
So
and also with that, it was a question of her advocation from V Bennett and Brother Shaka in their situation, right? And so they went on their stance of stating that they don't think that she is an actual advocator. Now, I can understand she took offense to that, right? And in offense, you stated that they were gay. The same thing that you did towards Kevin. You stated that he was gay. Now, she's stating that your responses, you guys' responses to her calling you gay is a form of homophobia. Because you have a certain stance on homosexuality is the reason as to why you responded to being called gay in a negative light. But here's the understanding that I want her to get. When you use a term in a format of a slur, and somebody who has comprehensive skills respond based upon how you use this term, it is not a form of fear or hate towards something. It is a form of an emotional or logical response towards how this term was expressed in the determination of one's character. And it has nothing to do with you being an advocate, because what they were stating of you not being an advocate or questioning your advocacy and your behavior patterns within advocacy is totally on topic based upon my assumption of what you guys were talking about with Brother Sinetta and all of those situations in that, right? That would be on topic. They didn't say anything about your sexuality. But you use this form of slur and because of your emotions. And homophobia is a term that is used to highlight someone who degrades someone or who uses certain vocal treatments or behaviors to someone based upon their ideas or views, or basically using terms of homosexuality as a point of injury or insult. And so that is what Neo displayed. Neo is displaying homophobia.
Absolutely, she is. She says that being called a fake advocate, if that's name calling, she can revert back to name calling. Her choice of name calling was to call him gay.
Right.
That 100% is evidence to support everything you just said.
And that's
exactly to do that.
And that is exactly what has happened to Kevin. And that is the reason as to why my concern sparked. And upon further investigation, that has happened to V Bennett and Brother Shaka and others. You get what I'm saying? And thus, because of these behavior patterns, this is why I question your advocacy as well. Or this is why I stated that you were possibly an agenda pusher. Because everybody that you come across, you're either pushing that they are gay or you're stating situations of them being possible molesters. You get what I'm saying? There's also and these behavior I think I got to the point even within that video where she was trying to make me look slow.
Right, and that's another one. It's wild.
It's a tactic. It's a tactic.
Right.
And
Mhm.
I've noticed that. You get what I'm saying?
I wanted to point this out as well. If someone is offended that they're called gay, wouldn't that also mean if someone is offended because they're called a pedophile or a pervert, that they got some type of pervert phobia?
Right.
So it's
Right.
weird to say if a person's offended because you call them gay and they're not, that they have some type of gay phobias. That's ridiculous. Those two are not synonymous. A person can be perfectly fine with how other people practice their life, but still be highly offended that you calling them something outside of their sexuality, which is something that they take highly serious.
Most definitely. Most
But she
definitely.
pretends to not understand these things. She read femcel by definition and pretended to not understand it. She got lost at
Exactly.
unattractive and could not finish the rest because she knew it directly applied to her.
And this is the thing that I went in, and most definitely, Kevin, I saw that. And this is what I want to state in my regards to speaking to her about calling her a femcel. It was not about her looks. In one of my videos, I also stated that I find everyone to be beautiful. So I never stated anything about her being of anything less than beautiful as far as her looks, right? I would never do that. That's not a part of who I am. I don't believe in a beauty standard. I identify that it is the differences of each other's characteristics that are the things that makes us beautiful. So, no, I did not call you a femcel based upon your looks, which was also a tactic used against my point. I called you a femcel because of how you have been behaving as far as the treatment towards these men. And she also stated how well she's actually in a relationship, so she can't be going without sex, right? Neither did I point that out. And in the video that she played, the lady said a femcel has different characteristics, right? Didn't that video say
Absolutely.
that? But you went over what she was stating to try to get everybody to ignore that factor. Not once did I state anything about your personal life. Not once did I state anything about your beauty. I clearly stated that your behavior of the treatment of these men and the patterns of how you even come into existence with these men is the reasoning as to why you are a femcel. And if anybody who isn't familiar with femcel, the easiest format, you can look in YouTube, you can look for that video as well, or you can also understand that it is the female version of incel in short. You get what I'm saying?
Well, I would say this right here, based on that definition, and I'm the same as you. I don't call anybody unattractive. I believe we're all beautiful as we represent our ancestors. But in all honesty, when you're talking about attraction on based on that definition, because we know that's an ambiguous term, that's um, subjective, right? So when it's saying that, you're talking about someone who is in the experience of not being attractive. They don't have a lot of suitors, and the way Neo presents herself, let's be honest, we can tell there's not a lot of men around the corner trying to get with her. That's not what men are walking up to. She doesn't present herself as feminine. So that's to not talk about her looks, but to her, she may feel that she don't get any play. She may not, exactly be high on herself, whatever the case may be. I think the biggest thing with her, with that definition, is it talks about how, or just hearing the other brother explain it, it talks about how they likely have an attraction to the very people that they're trying to tear down and things. And she
Right.
mentioned that one brother yesterday. She kept saying had feelings for and kept trying to clean it up. You never say that. We know what the words "have feelings for" mean.
Right.
You'd never say that about someone who was leading you, that it wasn't a sexual attraction. You were emotionally attracted to these people, and she is probably more sapiosexual or bisexual than gay. And I think she may have thought she was gay at the time. Maybe she was married to somebody she wasn't directly attracted to, but she's attracted to something in all of these men. And she is
Right.
in denial of it. And I don't think that she's happy at all in her relationship. And I say that because when we are looking out, we actually are looking in, as we are only projecting onto the world. So when she looks
Right.
in Jamie's face and says she sees unhappiness, I believe it's because she's unhappy. She finds something
Exactly.
wrong. And then when she talks to Lacey, she wants Lacey to be upset about paperwork. So she finds something wrong with every situation. And I think it's because it's something highly wrong with hers. And it's
Right.
easy to be that way. You could be trapped in a relationship where you sit here and declare that you were gay. And now you want a man in your life, you want masculine energy, and then you connect to it by any means. And that's through these men online. Many of them, they get
Exactly.
close to her by protecting her or feeling bad for her, and that's the damsel in distress. And she's interested in these men. She likes their intellect, because I can tell none of these men sound dumb. So it's something to these men. And I'm thinking, what do we all share in common? Intellect.
Intellect.
A thing to be
Exactly.
about something, going in the right direction. We're not out here on no crazy shit, you know. But what she likes to spin is that she got close to all these people and saw something that nobody else could see, and so that's her code breaker thing. And really, it's just her projecting. It's literally her sitting there just making things up, and I think she really believes them. You know, it's unreal. And that right there, it means that you are still 100% a prisoner of the matrix, which is the mind. And that's what I'm trying
Exactly.
to say, is that's what it's about. When you think that what you think about the world has anything to do with the world at all, that your opinion of people has anything to do with those people, if you think that, then you're under your own manipulation. And that's sad.
And that was one thing that I noticed when she was stating about omnism. It was so crazy to me. I was like, I don't understand how you considered Kevin to be your master teacher. Not saying that Kevin isn't a master teacher, he most certainly is. But how can you state that he is a master teacher when he spoke on his stance as far as religion?
She doesn't even use my karate. I mean, you got to understand, if I was her sensei, if I'm her master teacher, she would at least speak like me. She would at least have the way she goes about it. You can tell she's never sat under my tutelage at all. She's a person who listened to some videos. And in her
Right.
mind, she may have liked what I said the most. So she said, that's my master teacher. But she was not learning anything from me. If she had, she'd know that her body is a vessel. Just like you use it to navigate the world for texture, heat, cold, taste, hearing, sight, sound, all these things. The way you use to navigate this world has everything to do with your vessel. And your emotions are the same. If something upsets you, it has nothing to really do with that person. It's with you. It's with us. You got to understand that. And in her mind, if she thinks something about you, she thinks that has something to do with you. It's sad. If you
And
say
and
an opinion that she doesn't like, her opinion of you changes.
exactly. And then my stance on it was so confused. It was enlightening and confusing at the same time, because she felt as if I was informed of omnism, and and that I may not be of a level of enlightenment. And it's a poor assumption, because um and well, I guess she hasn't looked at the videos, but I've stated to you as well. And you can basically see how I've been doing more than looking at your videos. I've actually been listening, and how and a lot of it I agree based upon my own understanding. And basically what I'm trying to get at is omnism, or a factor of religion. It's a point in enlightenment that you get to, but there's a point surpassing that, right? And so my response to her would be, look up Gnosticism or the occultism. You get what I'm saying? I don't necessarily identify in any specific term, but in favor of my understanding, it would be of that. And she assumed that I take you on as my master teacher as well. And in the video that we had the first discussion about, when you came onto my platform and we discussed, I highlighted with you that I place no one above myself, right? So thus I would be stating to everyone that I see myself as my own master teacher, and everyone has this capability, because just like what Kevin said, in short, it is the knowledge within. You get what I'm saying?
There is none, and that's what everyone has to understand, is we all are here for a certain amount of time, and anyone, just as anyone who has ever lived, you should be your master student, a master student of the universe, and learn from everyone around you, making you a master teacher.
Exactly.
No one is above anyone. It's ridiculous to be looking for, and that's Bruce Leroy looking for some dumb boy. There is no teacher outside of you. There's none higher than self. There isn't.
Exactly. And this is why a lot of her behaviors of offense towards Kevin is because, and to V Bennett and Brother Shaka, is because she has placed a value of them above herself. Hence, going back to Femcell, you it's based upon your own insecurities as to why you are treating these men this way. It's based upon how you value them and how you devalue yourself. Am I making sense?
What perfect sense, perfect sense, and that's why I say that to I think to most people who's looking at her from the outside looking in, they can see that it's coming from a place of where she doesn't value herself. Your opinion of others says a lot about what you think of yourself. If what you have to
Right.
say is mostly negative, um, then you actually are thinking negative, right? You have a negative mind, and so therefore you have a negative world that shows that where your mind state is.
And
Uh,
also to show another contradiction, she stated she responded to my statement of building my platform towards her, right? Or about her. And she actually stated that she felt like I wouldn't get far. And uh what I what she has to understand is your response to me wanting to build my platform based upon you, whether it be negative or positive, will solely be based upon how you build your platform. The more you build, the bigger I become, right? Just like Kevin Wesley has a major platform. And when you spoke against Kevin Wesley, not even in favor, you still gained followers, right? Or subscribers, right? So when you're saying that I won't make it based upon talking about you, it's not a format of my ignorance that is being displayed. It's a format of the capabilities that you have within yourself that is being displayed. I don't know if I be making a lot of sense, but
You make perfect sense. She's just a professional point mister. She'll play this back and be like, "What? What did she mean?
and then
What?"
she'll show it as being slow. And see, this is another thing that I want to say, Kevin, because of course there is a way that I express myself offline, right? But it's but when you're trying to get a point across and you're trying to be in a certain lighting, of course you want to be mindful of the way that you state things or how you express things, right? Not saying that my manners offline are necessarily different, but I am more aware of self in a light where I want to come across to people to give them a certain understanding.
That
So
speaks to your awareness of self. That's a good thing, that you are thinking about what you say before you say it, because you represent not only your new channel but yourself, your character. Because you're not going to get up here just to say anything for any reason. You're not going to go outside of your own actual beliefs and thoughts. So you're going to think carefully about what you say. That's likewise. If I'm around my people, if I'm around my family I grew up with, I'll loosen up some. You understand? But yeah, if you're presenting yourself and you care about what you're doing, all of that speaks to your dignity as a person. And these are things they try and criticize. You're poised
right.
because you're being very careful as to represent yourself in the way that you can be proud of. I put a word in the chat. It's called ad hominem. ADHOMINEM. That right there is her number one tactic, ad hominem. It means at the man. It means to talk about the person rather than their content. When you can't actually refute what they're saying, call them slow, call them gay. say that they're being paid. Just talk about the person. So the message is not important now. Let's just talk about this person. And let's try to invalidate or disqualify this person. It's a debate no, and you lose points every time you do it.
Most definitely.
It highlights your ignorance and your immaturity levels, because it shows that in a conversation, you're likely to name call, which proves you're toxic. And these behaviors are witnessed rather than somebody just saying, you're a narcissist, you're this, you're that. I've already said when I addressed her on my last video, my wives were up there, that this girl is very toxic. And what that means is that she'll say something to provoke you rather than something that will actually bring a means to an end, something that will clear up any misunderstanding. Her response to questions are most likely insults or distractions, which would frustrate anyone that's trying to have a serious conversation with her. And that would make her very, very toxic. That's very toxic behavior. And that's whether that's not toxic femininity or masculinity. That's just plain old damn toxic. And that's regardless of who's doing it. I can't stand men who do that. I can't stand women who do that. I just hate that behavior.
And it's also in opposed to her stance on advocacy. It's in opposed to a lot of things that she claims she stands for. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Also, guys, because I'm gonna drop down real shortly. She brings up Queen's Throne as if I've done something to Queen's Throne. Queen's Throne was reached out to by Callie, the same guy who reached out to her, who she claims she reached out to, and told her that a woman reached out to him and told her I touched a little girl, a 14-year-old girl, tickled a 14-year-old girl, and then she died shortly after. So I see Queen's Throne doing a video like she's advocating for this girl. I call her channel. I go on her channel to tell her that these things are not true. I'm telling her they're strictly lies, that this woman died before I ever met her, before Callie ever met her, before me and Callie fell out. She didn't believe me. She told me she didn't like me for some reason. She argued back and forth. After that, she came on my panel once more. But I think since she saw that she hasn't continued with videos, I'll just put it like that. I don't know if she got something that she's working on, or she may start back, but she hasn't continued with videos after she saw that Callie wasn't up front or was lying about what he initially said. I think she understood it. Man, that's embarrassing that you got me getting on my platform to publicly say something when I use it for advocacy. Because when I watched her go back and forth with Neo, and she was making perfect sense. She was reading Neo like a motherfucker. She was calling her behavior out logically and everything, and Neo was doing the same things to her. Now, obviously they have patched things up, but outside of me proving that Callie was making that story up, I don't think Queen's Throne has said anything else about me. Maybe she said something in passing and moved along, but I don't think she's made a video about me since then. And that was weeks ago.
And also with even including someone, it's another tactic that's being used, to get the light off of you, because someone stated this or someone was in agreement to certain things at a specific time. It's to show devaluement of what people are saying in contrary to your allegations or statements that you're pressing across this person. Whatever, and she highlighted that V Bennett was expressing certain things on Queen Throne's panel as far as speaking about Kevin's situation, right? But this is what she misunderstands. This was a discussion as far as you guys meeting and speaking of your standpoint on situations and how you were unaware of certain situations of each other. You get what I'm saying? And so with that being made, there's no need to include, you get what I'm saying, her as part of someone speaking towards you, towards Neo. You know what I'm saying? There's no need in including her. It also was the same tactic that was used with Angelica. I honestly do not feel anything towards Angelica, and I hope no one else does, because based upon perception that was given, Angelica gave her response, right? And that was the same thing that Queen of Thrones did, right? And at the time when V. Bennett commented, that was the thing that he was doing, right? But when you came to a form of different understanding, it is okay to have a better understanding of what was going on and how things were being portrayed in a certain light, because you came to a point of clarity, and that's okay, you know.
Right. Then she tries to discourage anyone from getting more familiar with her through interacting by trying to make the other person seem like they're the worst person in the world. Like I think she was telling V. Bennett, like, that's how I know you fake, because you teaming up with Kevin Wesley, like, and then she'll do the same thing with me. You get teamed up with V. Bennett, like you don't even know what the half the things that he's to try and put doubt in our minds. Guys, I'm gonna tell you straight up, she is lying about every damn thing she says about me. Everything, the scamming, the damn being gay, the misuse of women, all these types of, she's lying about every bit of the things she says. She's a liar. She doesn't know me at all. She's a liar.
Hot girl summer, I want to say this to you. In my response to Neo in this video, I am stating that I am no longer in an attack towards Neo. I'm no longer coming for her. I acknowledge her response towards me. I actually honor that she responded towards me. And in thus, I will not be attacking her. The discussions that I'm having with V. Bennett, Brother Kevin Wesley, and Brother Shaka is not in a format of attacking her. So please do not leave with the misunderstanding that these statements are to attack her. But everyone has a right to defend themselves based upon what is being said about themselves. And if we cannot agree with their opinions of their own truth, there's no need to further the problem or the situation in the lighting of an attack. Kevin has every right to vocalize how he feels about this situation, and he has every right to give judgment based upon the situation that has happened towards him. And Neo has the same right on her own platform. So I
But,
just
okay, sorry.
ask that when coming in to the discussion, please do not assume that this is to continue or to further comfort Neo, because that is not what my platform is doing anymore. Go ahead, Brother
But,
Kevin.
excuse me too. And what Neo's platform is doing is lying, gaslighting, being manipulative, deflecting from the topic, stirring the narrative. And I know these just seem like terms I'm throwing out, but man, if you do your research to know these terms, it's blatant on her channel. All she does is insult, name call, um, what you would call actually attacking. So if you can watch her channel and you don't see that as attacks, but you can show up over here and say, don't be attacking her, and look at you guys attacking her. Clearly, you have a misunderstanding on what attacks mean. We are on here describing the things that this girl is doing. Simply that. We're not name calling her, anything like that. So I think a logical person could see even the way we present our information versus the way she does hers, who's actually just extremely childish and immature here, right? And that's why it's not worth a back and forth, because
Right.
again, it'll just be a spiral where she's saying a million other things to deflect from the point, and using those things to try and justify. So it's just unreal. And a person like that, you got to leave them to be doomed to their own in their own situations. Like, people like that who don't grow, they're doomed to recreate that in their life. Their life just look like going at it with people all the time, and that's what I see with her. I don't really see lessons that go in any direction. It's just she's beefing with somebody today and it's somebody else tomorrow, and it's you said this and he said that, and you an asshole and you a bitch, and it's just that's all I see. And you got to lead them people to it. Like, don't get caught up in that. You ever seen cartoons where they're fighting and it's just a cloud of smoke around them?
Right.
You can see what's happening, and you go close enough, and then you get pulled into it, and it's just fist swinging and shit. That's what it's
Right.
like talking with her. That's exactly what it feels like. I swear to you.
Most definitely. And I did get some of your video that that you did yesterday. Yesterday was a busy day for me, you guys. I have children. You get what I'm saying? And so like the weekends, I have to cater to the necessities of children. Um and I didn't get to see a lot of it, but I did see that you were going in as far as the topic of Neo-X within the movie standpoint and the understanding of that. And I got the gist that what you were stating in one point, I'm not quite sure, but basically stating what you said just now, basically, just letting things and in short, just letting it be what it is, because there's no point and it'll just be an ongoing thing. Am I right about that
Yeah,
interpretation?
yes, I feel like don't let them rob you of your glory with their story.
Okay.
Don't let them use a story to rob you of your glory. Arguing with you about the past in which they made it up. She
Most
pulls up that
definitely.
video from 9 months ago and then wants to skew everything that video is about. And it's like, that's what you want to do? Yeah, I want to move forward and create something. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of it. I've given it enough time. I like creating. I do not like sitting here arguing about the past. Do you realize how futile that is? And so I'm
Right.
like, let the dead bury the dead. I'll let y'all sit here and bicker about who y'all think I am. Well, I'll just keep on going and being great for my family. But
Most
the people who close
definitely.
to me, who care about me, they know who I am. And they done told enough lies that even you lying on them too. So hell, ain't nobody worried about nothing you're saying. It's crazy.
Right. And
In
my
the grand scheme of things, nothing that they can say can change your purpose or mission anyway. So it's like, just keep doing your thing.
and I advise every great person that I ran across with their platforms to do the same. And my stance on what I would be doing further, and I'll elaborate on that even more. I also even had a discussion with you about how I would be, giving my take or my observation based upon some of the ongoing ventures that you uh speak of on your platform, and with Lacey and with Jamie, and giving my insight, and also it's going to be based upon this topic as well as behavior patterns, and the treatment towards each other and men. I'm going to
You're very good at that. You have a great eye. I know you'll be good at that. Whoever you decide to defend, whatever topic you own, I know it's going to be precise because I hear you already. You got it. You have a gift.
thank
You
you.
should definitely do that.
And it won't, and it won't be an attack to anyone anymore. I just wanted to set that example. You get what I'm saying? Of when someone is actually attacking you. You get what I'm saying? And then how I respond is was an example of expecting and respecting the response that was given towards me attacking someone else. That was a prime example there. You get what I'm saying? There is no need for me to carry on in offense as if I wasn't the person that started in the wrong first, right?
Right.
Even though the reasoning for me doing it was right, right?
Yeah.
I had every right to feel the way I felt, especially based upon the the information that I displayed, the things that I used to justify my reasoning, but I was still wrong because I set out the attack. I responded with emotion. So, in response, she gave one. And it could have been worse, it could have been better, however anybody would like to assume. She gave that response. And because I was the one that set out for her first, I cannot be in control of her response. Thus, I cannot be in an emotional state because of her response. This is some of the information that I'm trying to get to people. You cannot be in control of how somebody responds in a situation that you created. That is called victim mentality.
Yes, ma'am.
If you create a situation and based upon your own emotions or based upon your own form of understanding, to hold somebody against their own perspective because you want them to respond in your favor is not fair to them. It's not okay to be a victim in a situation that you created. Does that make sense? And I think anybody who disagrees with my stance for defending Kevin and V Bennett and Brother Shaka, especially starting off with Brother Kevin, because that's how I came into this situation in the first place, or anybody who is in oppose of me defending them, they can clearly understand that you cannot be a victim in a situation that you created. And that was my whole point to give to Neo X. In these situations, regardless of the moments within the timeline, it was your decision to come in between or to come in into an environment or into a setting of people. How they respond within different moments of this overall setting is not in your control. And it is not justifiable for you to respond in an emotional behavior or an emotional state because it is not in favor of your feelings.
You're absolutely right. I want to add this before I hop off. But people keep saying this, and I saw this comment a couple of times that they're trying to let me know that V Bennett insulted my brother in some form or fashion. Here's what I'm going to say to that, guys. V Bennett, if he did that, you saw a small snapshot of this situation with my brother. If you zoomed out and saw it in its entirety, you may have a totally different opinion. If I were to even try to begin to explain it all to you, it would be here for hours. And that's why she does that's why they do what they do. They want to create some type of confusion. But if you want to know more about that situation, to have your own opinion, not just from a snapshot or hearing it from someone's channel, those videos are everywhere, man. It's been a roller coaster.
And I think based upon you guys meeting each other, I think that his form of opinion, it probably is more than likely has changed. You get what I'm saying? And especially in opposed to the ones who are coming against you and who is coming against him as well.
Well, I think what we all should learn from this situation is that we have to slow down. When we're watching these videos and people break down certain things, we don't know their ambitions. We don't know their intent. And if we just kind of go with what they're saying, sometimes they can be very manipulative and convincing. And they could have, screen recorded something that does look bad, but you don't know the whole story. And I think we have to all learn to slow down so we don't make irrational decisions and say things that, would try to be held against us or make that person look more guilty than they are, as we don't know the whole situation. We've seen that's been very easy to try and manipulate people with small videos and clips rather than let them watch it and get it for themselves. They'll give you just a small clip and stop it and won't show you anymore. And if you let it play a little longer, you could see the difference, right? And so we've seen how manipulation happens, and I think that we all should hold these creators accountable to not manipulating us, because to them they feel like they're winning. When she got Angelica up there, she just pretty much lied to her, and she feels accomplished. But anyone could do that. That's the easy thing to do, is just tell lies. I mean, you could do that, but if you want to get an honest synopsis of or opinion of what happened between you and another person, you should give it to them straight, and that way you'll know. But obviously you do know, so the fact that you manipulated is proof, and this person can go back and look, and then they can make their own determination. And now what are they going to think of you? And she's filled with that, constantly telling the story the complete wrong way, so it comes out in her favor in that moment. And it's recorded. It's brilliant to me, because I'm witnessing something happen right in front of my eyes. It's recorded, and these are typically things people like to hide. I think, like I said, anything, anybody that can't see it I don't question it, and that's why I say there's no need to defend. If you can watch someone on a panel, it's funny she called herself Neo X, but it was Neo and my ex, right? And I told you it was funny how before that it was Neo and Williams, right? And William O'Neal. And so now it's Neo and my ex, and my ex is essentially telling her that I wasn't even healthy enough to be meeting anyone when I came to meet her. And she was criticizing her own lack of knowledge about my situation. Even then, the first day, she continued to criticize my body weight, and nowhere in it did Neo say, well, damn, he just got out the hospital. You know he's going through something.
Right.
But there's no empathy at all for someone who is fighting something, right? They're talking about tube food, and she keeps saying I'm skinny, which prove I was malnutrition. You understand? She keeps saying I love this man, but you keep talking about how much of a twig he was and how he manipulated his photos to not look so skinny.
Right.
He was insecure. He was going through something he never went through in his life. You're supposed to be with him and love him. These are not things you should ever be telling, but to tell them, is that ruining my character? Like, it's like it seems that you're trying to ruin my character, but the things that you're saying, would they ruin my character?
Right.
You understand? Like, hey, community, he's a bad person. When he was skinny like a twig, he used to enhance his photos so he didn't look so skinny. What do you want them to do about that? What does that mean? I don't have anything to offer now? Like, what are you saying?
Right.
Have you not ever been insecure? Just imagine a man saying that about his wife or a significant other, that she went through something in her body, and now he's criticizing how her body looks, and that she, maybe put something on or changes her body in some type of way on pictures just because she gained a lot of weight after pregnancy or something, or got a thyroid issue, something where she gained a lot of weight, and now she don't like to take photos from her whole body or something like that. And let's say this husband is saying he loved this woman, and now he's talking about how she used to do that, y'all, like in a funny way, like it's funny. There's no way he loved her.
Right.
And now he's wondering why she left him, why she didn't want to be with him anymore. To me, a person who's interviewing that person, who understood how relationships should work, they would have stopped right there and noticed something there. So it shows me that there's just nothing but contempt on her behalf. It doesn't matter who says what. She'll let them on that platform and just say whatever. And she thinks it's painting me as a bad person, but it's exposing her and the person that she's interviewing.
Most definitely.
And she doesn't think anything about those people that she brings on, because she knows that people's going to review that, break it down, and it'll be up forever to show how much they lie. And their kids may see it one day, all those things, So it's like they're coming and making fools of themselves. Me and my ego would love to straighten it out, but once you've gone back and forth with her and you realize that there's that's not going to be a real response, there's just going to be more chaos and confusion, it becomes pointless.
And that's what I've noticed as well. Thank you so much, Kevin, for everything. Thank you for being my first shout out. Thank you for being my first subscriber. I know that no one necessarily wants to have these type of situations in their life, but I want to thank you for acknowledging my efforts. And I'm definitely going to continue to be in defense of your honor, not to attack anyone, but to basically show and highlight some of these characteristics of when people have platforms and they're stating their stance, and how it can be in a scenario of manipulation in order for someone to feel in agreement towards their perception given. I'm definitely going to highlight some more things for you. I'm definitely
thank you as well.
I'm of the movement. I'm in the movement. I am the movement. A lot of people have been speaking in defense of your brother LaTruth, and I've been within that saga as well. You get what I'm saying? And honestly and truthfully, there was a point when I wanted to start this platform within that saga to defend you and your brother. And I honestly felt like if I was to start it, I possibly could have been able to help with some of the toxic things that did occur.
Yes, ma'am.
But I did not start it. And the reason why I did not start it was because, and you might have heard me on Joffy's live a couple of times. I did, because I was participating. I spoke on Joffy's live a few times, and because of the situation that happened, everything started to go crazy. Everybody started getting mad towards each other, and it went off topic for a little second. And so the defense of your brother and you died down. And so that's when I was starting it. But it started to pick back up. And so with that, I felt like everybody that was speaking on it, they were doing such a great job. You get what I'm saying? So I stood in support and in favor of these people that were coming in defense for you guys. You get what I'm saying? And so me speaking now and starting my platform it was solely based upon the further encouragement of just seeing how everybody was able and they had the courage to to speak their voices regardless to any potential attacks or of what they would come across. You get what I'm saying? So, of course, I have a nervousness of speaking in public, and it is easier when I have somebody that is on the platform with me. That's why when I spoke on Joffy's live and other people's lives, that wasn't the only platform that I spoke on. But when I was able to speak on these platforms, it was easier because I wasn't doing it, as far as by myself or on my own, having my own voice for people to set out to listen to. So yes, I am nervous. You get what I'm saying? Because this is not a characteristic that I take on throughout the day. But I do want to highlight that I have been here. I have been seeing everything that has been happening. I've also been in encouragement with your sister Latoya at times as well. But I don't have a consistency in my commenting, so a lot of people may be unfamiliar with me. And so I just wanted to give you that understanding that I've been rocking with you. I will continue to rock with you and your family. Your family has been a wonderful example of great integrity, discipline. You get what I'm saying? And that speaks volumes to me, and it has also given me an example of how I can continue on with having my voice. And as I progress, it'll get better. Of course, with practice makes perfect, and I'll get over my nervousness of being in the crowd. I don't even hang around a lot of people in my own life. I stick to myself. I spend a lot of time with my children, but I just wanted to give you that acknowledgement. Or we have Brother V Bennett want to come on. Hey, Brother V, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thank you for having me up, sister. And Kevin, what's up, brother? Good to see you speaking again, man. I don't know exactly what this person is talking about in the chat, but here's the work you have to do when you make any allegation about anybody. You actually have to bring the receipts forward so that everyone can discuss it properly.
Right.
If I've said anything to anyone to harm or belittle or defame, I'm man enough to admit it. That's something that happens with every single person on earth. You can't live and you can't thrive as an adult if you don't do that. That's what makes us good people, So I would just ask that the person bring the receipts. I mean, Kevin, I really don't know much about your story, and the only things that I've heard are the things that other people say on their platforms, you know. But since I've never gone to your platform before, I just became a subscriber. I really don't know much about your story at all. So I was on Queen's Throne panel like maybe a few 4 or 5 days ago. I can't remember the last time, but it was about 4 or 5 days ago because I've been busy. And they were talking about you, but the first thing I said was that I can't defend or actually condemn because I don't know anything about your story and what's going on. That's what I said, and then I proceeded to talk about something else.
Do you know what they were saying? I want to see if I'm familiar with that video.
I don't remember, brother. To be honest with you, because sometimes they have a few different topics. You see what I mean? So my comments.
I saw a screenshot where she had put it up where it said something like you was going to share a video, and she was trying to say that was something that was a video about my brother. I think she recently did a video on my brother saying that he used a fake program or something like that.
Well, I don't know much about your brother either, to be honest, and I damn sure can't claim to know that he's done anything to anyone because I don't know him. I've never seen any evidence of it. So why someone would say that I'm saying that he touched somebody is really weird. But since the people in the chat right now have said it, I'm just saying make sure you bring the receipt. That's it. You do because
she's saying it because she wants to discourage us from being acquainted. You understand? So I know why she's saying it. Even if you had insulted him, it wouldn't make any difference because, like I said, I know you're saying it from a snapshot of what you're seeing, and I would just encourage you to kind of zoom out and see the whole story. And I'd like to see if your opinion changes. And even if it stayed the same, I'd just be curious to know how you came to that conclusion. I'll be more just interested in your thought pattern than anything. I don't actually get angry with people for having a difference of opinion than me.
Right. And
Right.
he's also
Well,
he's also displayed that with NeoX numerous of times as well, just trying to get the understanding of the thought process, not necessarily being offended. And he showed that with so many different people on their platforms and panels and his as well. I can vouch for that.
Yeah. I don't generally claim to know or say that someone has done something if they haven't been convicted of something. If there's not paperwork where it's saying this person has done this, so I don't see why I would say something about your brother. And in fact, if I did say something about someone named Latif, to be honest with you, I didn't even know he was your brother. If I did. And I'm not even saying that I did.
His name is Latruth. His name is Latruth.
Oh, Latruth.
She must have been calling him Latif.
What I think is
or maybe
what they're trying to do is they're trying to connect with you being within the discussion, specific discussion on the platform, and basically saying that because of that you were in agreement. And my stance on that. Go ahead.
It's not, well, that's not always the case, and I was on a platform like a week ago, but again, I can't say that I couldn't even agree with anything that could be said about Kevin or his brother if I don't know them. You see what I mean? But that doesn't mean the other people that are speaking may not claim to know things. They could say they claim to know things all they want, but I don't claim to know much of anything because I haven't done any research. I haven't even read the story. And I think I've heard just vaguely some things about you, Kevin, recently that from maybe NeoX. And then I vaguely remember the first time I've ever seen you, Kevin, was when you were on a panel with Side Netter that down in the South. And people were criticizing that. And the only thing I thought about that was that, wow, because of my issues with Side Netter and what I know about the platform and the different types that have been there that they do have paperwork on, obviously, then it kind of put people that come into his circle kind of, a lot of people suspect automatically. But suspecting things is totally different from knowing things. And anytime you say you know something, you need to bring the receipts because it could harm a person. And I think what's going on right now with, I'm at work, so that's why I'm whispering. But I think what's going on right now in the chat with this person, liar, is I would just say, or if that's their name, I would wonder, are they anonymous and unidentified? And if anything that they ever say that I have done, and they believe it was wrong, and I say, show me the receipts, I think they're compelled now to go do that. I have a platform. You're welcome to come back and bring the receipts, hop on my platform and say whatever you like, but bring the actual receipt.
To have this as part of the tactic that it's a tactic, and it's only to try to deflect and to continue on with a certain situation. I honestly feel like with you guys meeting and getting to know each other based upon conversation, I feel as though an idea or an understanding of something can be possibly changed through that as well. I don't think V. Bennett would intentionally try to show what people would think is two-faced. I don't think that's what he's giving at all. I totally disagree in that stance. I think that V. Bennett has given a genuine dialogue about his stance on things. I think he's been giving Kevin a genuine he's coming from a genuine place with Kevin and in conversion. So I think that that can be dismissed as far as I'm
in our
concerned.
actuality, we have gathered to speak on the behaviors of NeoX. That's all. If a mutual friendship derives from that, it'll happen organically. But that has not been any plan.
Exactly.
I don't think men ever plan to do no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So to think that that anything like he's kissing my butt or would have any reason to, it wouldn't matter his opinion of my brother and the situation or whatever the case may be. It's simply, here's my experience with NeoX. Here's my experience with NeoX. That is all it is to it. Again, the only reason that we're even having this conversation is because of her manipulative tactics to try and discourage or or taint in any way. You know what I mean? So she can invalidate anything in any way she will.
Yeah, and my name and my face is out there to the public. So I would encourage people to see if Liar's name and face and who they are is out there to the public, because I also like to know who makes allegations about me too, just so I can know if it's really, just who it is, because these people be using different accounts and different stuff.
I feel the same way. This is my first and last name. I'm not up here with an alias. People don't just call me by some name or acronym that I made up. And so when they say Kevin Wesley did something, I take it very serious because I take what I do on here very seriously. You know what I mean? So then they wonder why I'm responding. So I know exactly what you're saying.
And you know what, Kevin? To be honest with you, man, I, of course, like I said, when I saw you get on Sarnetta's panel, and then I saw you go over to his platform, people will speculate that don't know you. People will speculate. But actually, when I first started listening to you speak on other platforms, just immediately a lot of that stuff got dispelled, because see, one thing I respected is that when someone made an allegation about you, you were willing to talk about it and give people time. You answered questions, you did all of that. And to be honest with you, brother, I think you've done enough to answer things. To be honest, I don't see what good it comes, because it should only take a couple of times for people to come with the exact right questions where they can find out if something is bad or if something is good, if you committed a crime or harmed someone or not. It shouldn't go on for weeks. It just doesn't take that long.
Right.
So I just thought like
for hours, but still I'm up there for hours because I'm covering it all. And I shouldn't have to respond anymore after that. They'll go scammer. So I'll show them a video of me talking to the guy who was my partner at the time. We were working together. The money would come to him first, or any donations to anything that came in. We're on the phone talking, and he's saying nobody was donating, that the money came to him first. This is the exact guy who tries to lie on me and say I scammed the very next day with a video, with snippet videos trying to say I'm stealing or that I'm scamming. When in the video that he recorded, that I didn't know he was recording. He was trying to embarrass me or expose me in some way. I didn't know he was recording. He never on that video at all once said I scammed. He admitted the money came to him first. Another lady came out and said that she had all the passwords to all my accounts, and yet she can't say any scamming had been done. And this is why I say I feel like they scammed me, because they had access to all of my stuff, But in everything that they say, I address these things fully now. And what they'll do is come out with more videos pretending to not see any of that stuff. They won't put it on their platform.
Brother, I gotta say,
they'll say, I didn't watch the video, I just peeped in. That's their
No,
way
but
of
brother,
avoiding that you done debunked it.
I gotta say, and I wasn't born yesterday. You know, I've been traveled to a lot of countries, met a lot of people, worked with a lot of people, so I know people well. I'm not a fool. It doesn't take me long to develop a sense of a person, and I know for a fact that whatever happened, that interview with this woman on Neo X's platform, I didn't take either one of them. They just didn't appear to be serious. I'm just saying that was my view of it. And I'm a person that's just like, if you're stealing, if you're robbing, if you're hurting people, I don't got no room for that. I say, yeah, we need to stop those kind of behaviors, but you know, you have to question the people that are making the accusations too, right? You
Right.
have to question that as well. You
And
know,
they
you,
never
you
do.
can't. Yeah, but I like Queen's Throne, man. I think she generally is coming from a good space, and nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. She's not perfect. You're not perfect. None of us are perfect, and none of
What's
us are
crazy is
claiming to
the
be
thing,
perfect.
this, sorry to interrupt, but what's crazy is the things I've heard from her outside of her encounter with me, I don't necessarily disagree with. You
Right.
understand? It's her encounter
Right.
with me and her being really misled because she doesn't know me. She only knows me through what they're saying about me. And
Right.
so again, I don't know. She's not an enemy of mine. She had made any videos since then, but yeah, she was really going at me the first day I met her. She did not want to look at Callie as if he could be a liar at all. And she's telling me that she don't question no accuser. She questions the accused. And I'm telling her, when you see this person is lying about everything he's told you, like, are you going to turn your eyes back on him and expose him for being a liar? You know,
Well, I have a different approach.
He even admitted
I got a different approach.
That wasn't the story. Then now claims the story didn't change when it absolutely changed.
Yes, it did.
You know what though? I have a different approach. I don't disbelieve the person that is a victim, that claims to be a victim. I believe them, but it doesn't mean I don't question them,
Right.
because you
I
can't
always
do
say it's not
anything
about-
without the proper questions. You can't know anything without the proper questions. You can't take proper action without the proper questions. And the fact remains that sometimes there are false allegations. So,
Right.
I mean, it's just that sometimes people do things for other reasons. Sometimes,
That's true.
not all the times, not all the, but so I don't question a person that claims to be a victim. I mean, I don't disbelieve a person that claims to be a victim. I generally believe just instantly, but it doesn't mean I don't question them, because I know I can't do anything if I don't question them. I can't take action. I can't help them.
The thing that made Neo upset with me was my response to her on that was, I don't have to believe the person who makes an accusation. Belief is not necessary. When you go to the police and you file a complaint with them that something has happened to you, it is not about their belief. It's simply their duty to investigate what you just claimed. And so I always say belief is not something that we should ever invest in. You should either put in enough research to the point to where you are strongly convinced, but you should never give anyone that much to your soul, which is your belief. That's ridiculous. So if someone tells me that someone did something to them, I want to know more, because I want to investigate for that person on their behalf. But I'll find out at the end of my investigation if it was true or not. I'm not concerned about that. It's not my concern if they're lying. It's my duty to react, to say, I have to follow you up, because I have to see if that happened to you. But if you're not and you're a liar, you need to be exposed too, because that is an action that causes people a lot of misery, is false accusations. So you don't get to just walk away like, nah, wait, they didn't do that to me. No, I'm fine. No, what you just did was something that was egregious. You just accused the innocent man of doing, what you're doing is you're playing on victims, things that actually happen to people. That these things are grotesque. And now you're going to accuse an innocent person of doing this exact thing with no thought in mind of how it would reflect on them in the world. And you probably do know that, which makes it even worse. So you're assaulting this person's way of making money and their character, and literally could be threatening their life by accusing them of acts like, perversion and pedophilia. That's heavy. That's a heavy claim to make. And they're using social media to do it and calling it YouTube because it's an app. But this app reaches millions of people. You understand? So they take no pride in what they do. They're horrible people, man. Like I said, and they have no etiquette at all. It's sad to even come across them. They're demonic. I would never say a man did that. I would never say a woman did that. Then they say, well, Kevin just defends men. No, someone accused me of tickling a little girl, and I don't even know the little girl they're talking about. He made the shit up on the spot, on a live. Somebody said he looked like he was on drugs. The man said, if you can say I look like I'm on drugs with no proof, then I can say Kevin tickled a little girl with no proof. He literally said the shit online.
Yeah.
Made it up. Said it happened 2 or 3 years ago, and he didn't say anything to just now. Like, the shit's so dumb. And then they're entertaining. That's what makes it so sad.
But you know what, Kevin? Did you see my message?
Stop. And they act like they don't get that.
Hey, Kevin, did you see my message? I got a message in the back chat for you, but also I left you a message. When you came, I left you a message. You'll probably see it in your notifications anyway. But on this note, I was going to say that what happens when YouTube, a lot of times people are getting away with these things, but they shouldn't think that they can get away with them forever without penalty, like legal penalties, like criminal and civil penalties. And the thing is that when you have an individual that has spread hate speech and defamation of more than one and multiple different persons now become victims, those people can come together and verify their own stories by showing the evidence to a court. You see what I mean? It's not legal to spread defamation on YouTube. Even though people are getting away with it, it's definitely not legal. And people that do that intentionally, they can find themselves, liable, civil or criminal. You never know which one. And all I can tell you is I'm not opposed to any type of action. Not necessarily because I need to do it for myself, but we need to do these things for the community, because you can't have people just creating chaos for nothing.
Right.
Yeah,
so on that note, I'm gonna hop down, y'all.
V, before you go, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say before you hop down, because I'm shortly after you. I was gonna say that that's why I was on Sonetta, is when I met Sonetta at an event, he asked me to come onto his show and talk about cyberbullying. And because I'm aware of what's happened to my brother and myself, I gladly took that opportunity. So I came on the show talking about how if a person makes a claim saying that someone raped them and they did not do that, then they deserve a penalty likened to that of a rapist themselves, because you're lying. You're using something that happened to someone else to say it happened to you to try to bring harm on someone else. No, you definitely should pay some type of penalty for that. Neo used that to say he cares more about the accused than the rape. Like that. What, I don't know how her brain works and how she does that, but I'd hate to be stuck in her mind that she totally misses the point. Nowhere did I say any damn thing like that.
But my advice to you is that like dealing with I've had it. Well, I'll put it to you this way: I had an experience working in grassroots with some organizations, and another organization had a leader, and that leader became very erratic and just was doing a lot of different weird things that are just. And today, this is the leader of Black Lives Matter Denmark, and this person is despised by Black leadership across. Well, I'll put it to you this way: the people that's writing the laws are anti-Black racism on the UN and EU level. They despise her, and then the public despises this person because they got caught up without showing the money that they collected, right? And it's a Black woman. Now, a long time ago, before this person even emerged as such a big figure, I actually said, I told the chair, because I was the vice chair at the time, I said, you know what? Something's not right with this lady, man. Like, just something's not right. And I said, I think she's suffering from some kind of mental illness. And you know what? Like 3 weeks later, she made a public post about suffering from mental illness, schizophrenia. You see, so what I'm saying is that it's hard to tell. I'm not suggesting anything about NeoX. If she has mental illness, I know she says she has some issues or whatever. I don't know what it's from, depression or whatever have you, you know. And it's also not my business. But the thing is that I would just caution you to say, and even caution myself, to spend too much time with her. Like Angie said, me too. I don't want to spend too much time with her because the problem is that, you know, we may have more control than she does if she does have an issue like that. And so at some point, we just have to pull back anyway, because and let that person just whatever they're going through play its course, you know. But I think that she's stalking you. That's my opinion. I think for a person without any real evidence, she needs to let it go. I know that she's done defamation towards you and hate speech, you know, these images and all of this stuff. It's harassment. It's stalking. You know, to spend this much energy on a person you don't know much really and have much any evidence anyway, it's just ridiculous. And I know that she's done hate speech towards me. And you know, I'm just going to cut it off because I got other conversations to have. And I think we covered what's going on with her pretty well. Whatever it is going on, she's behaving improperly and with malintent. That's my opinion. So, but I don't think she can stop. You see what I mean? Like, so you just have to. For me, I'm just going to step back because that's my view. I don't think she's going to stop.
Yeah,
you know, she got to find somebody else. Yeah, I mean, if we step back, she'll find somebody else.
I would definitely be in continuance of showing my pointers and factors in favor of you guys, most definitely. I won't change that. You get what I'm saying? It will be within any subject that I speak on. Basically, in my standpoints of childhood trauma and mental development and things and that such. You get what I'm saying? So don't ever question that part. You get but as far as how I was sending out the message towards attacking her, as far as coming for her, I'm not going to further in that format, is what I'm stating. I won't be doing that. And I most definitely agree, especially with the topics that you guys discuss on your platforms. There's no need for you guys to continue on in this battle. I do agree that people should come in defense. And for you guys' defense, I will highlight my stance and how I disagree on certain situations. Some of those videos may be I may use clippets or things from Neo's platform, but it won't be in regard to attack her, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Hey, but I agree with you, sister. You have some great insight, and you're unlike NeoX. You don't think you're competent. I mean, it's just like we're having a great conversation right here. You know what I mean? Right. All of you all are enlightened and highly intelligent, and also just capable. You're taking care of your own. You know, you're being responsible, and you're taking accountability. People say something, you stand up and you talk to them, and ask them, what are your questions? How can I answer your question? And we're all willing to do that reasonably, you know. And
right.
So
that's what I want.
I think we're good.
Right.
Look, I'm gonna drop down and let you review the video, and I'll be listening. Okay.
Thank you so much. Oh, I probably won't stay long. I just wanted to show that piece of what she did within that video. Thank you for coming, Kevin. And the reason why I wanted to state that for everyone is because it was something within that can make somebody realize certain things that she says. You get what I'm saying? And how it's okay to question what is being stated to you, and understand that when somebody is giving their perspective without the thorough form of proof, in their investment, it is a form of manipulation, whether they are aware or unaware. You get what I'm saying? Because we can go back and forth about whether somebody knows better or not, right? So that doesn't matter to me. Whether you knew better or not, this is what has been done. I'll continue that. Thank you, V, for coming on. Thank you, Kevin, for coming on. I am going to play this piece one more time so that everybody can understand. And I didn't want to stay with you long. That does not mean that this will not some of my videos or some of my perspectives on certain things that were stated will not continue. But I just want to say that it is not to send out for Neo anymore. I am grateful for Neo's response. She stated that she would not respond to me anymore, and I will honor that by not trying to come for her anymore. I can honor that. You get what I'm saying? She stated that I can do videos and show why I disagree, and that's what I'm going to do. It won't be with just her videos in particular, but in favor of these men and in favor of my understanding of toxic mentality, I will definitely be stating things. My platform will progress because, I be litty, if I could say that. I want to state this as well. I have not said anything in regards to questioning whether Neo was molested or if Neo was couldn't identify herself as beautiful. That is not of my character. I appreciate everyone who comes in to see that and get a better understanding of who I am as a person, to know that that is something that I would not do, right? Okay, so I did want to be able to continue on with some other things that I had to get done. And I appreciate everyone coming through. I'm going to play this clip it one more time just so everybody could get a full understanding, and then we can definitely close out, and I'll be back with you guys soon. I got some more stuff that I want to go in on and go from there as well. So let's see right here one more time for anybody who was in question.
Like I tried to tear her down as if she did not fucking call me crazy.
In your house,
right?
You understand? When polygamy is actually a relationship just like any other family, okay, that people agree to. So what she's saying is all these other cultures in the world who practice polygamy, it's because they're not enough for each other. And whatever wife is first.
I didn't say that. I said, do she feel like she's not enough?
Now, in what I also want to say is in this video, Jamie was speaking with Neo, and Neo took what Jamie said and weaponized it, stating that Jamie called her crazy. Jamie did not call her crazy. As a matter of fact, let me just let's see what
come to her with that, because she ain't with that. Like I like playing with, like, she gonna shut. Like, did we not just joke about the poly with her because she was a Pisces? But he just sitting up trying to act like he don't remember what I said.
And Polly, and I said she was a Pisces, and we all laughed. So don't try it again. Try it again. Right? So you can't get me like I can get you, bro.
I can go play it. You said you
go play it, and go play it so they can see that it was a joke.
You practiced poly in the past.
I just said I acknowledge that one of my exes in the past wanted to do poly and it didn't work out.
Enough,
say what?
Is it because you weren't enough? Like, this lifestyle is huge.
Hey, maybe I wasn't enough. Maybe I wasn't enough. So what's your point?
So
that's supposed to hurt me. Maybe I was not enough, but when we tried it, she got jealous. So the proof came in. Something maybe she didn't feel like enough.
You're being asked about things that you said on your platform, and what you're doing is criticizing our relationship.
I'm telling you that she coming for me, and she the one clearly being biased. Like, come on, bro. It didn't even when you bringing up that I tried probably prove my point.
Guys, is this not proof of what I said? Sonic ring.
Yeah, you see how he had to throw me back? Like he can't. That's sad. You can't handle a little truck driver, master teacher. I'm just a truck driver that loves philosophy, bro. That's how I can answer these questions so good. You studied philosophy. The point of a person who's even interested in philosophy is to show that you continually ask people questions just to expose their biases. So it helps them.
And that is not true as well. I'm so happy that that was called. You can ask questions, but you also have to have understanding, comprehensive skills, and critical analysis as well. And that was not displayed. Thank you, V, for coming through too. So let's see.
Critically think and see things in other people's perspective, like I can. Right. So, but that's how you piss him off. You just keep asking questions. But he was trying to get me. But you asking me about poly, you literally proved my point. Yes, one of my ex-girlfriends came to me and wanted to try it. We tried it and it didn't work out. Why it didn't work out? Because the one who wanted to try it got jealous. It wasn't because I did anything wrong. It wasn't because the other girl did anything wrong. The person who I deal with it got jealous. She couldn't handle it. So it didn't last. It did not last at all. But then he tried to say something about the new girlfriend, and we literally said that was a joke. We were playing around because of her zodiac sign being a Pisces. Pisces don't play that shit. But you see how he just want to act like I just assaulted. As he did not hear his fucking wife say I was.
Okay, Neo has stated that she's not a part of the conscious community because of everything that has been going on, I guess, within the grouping that she has found herself to be a part of or whatever, which I can respect. You're not a part of the conscious community. I question your level of consciousness, and it's not an offense to you, nor is it an attack to her. It's just a question based upon my own observation. But within being conscious or having a platform where you want to be able to teach certain things, you want to have a level of insight towards them, right? And in my own opinion, I don't think that Neo necessarily hears herself when she is speaking, because a lot of the things that she states are not necessary. They're false. Her dialogue about particular things to me is false.
I was crazy.
So many million things come out their mouth other than what they're being confronted about. And every question you ask them, you're doomed to hear more bullshit come out their mouth. So she's now talking about our relationship and how somebody ain't worthy of something and how she got another woman in her house. How the fuck did that come up? And all this happening is her being asked about.
It came up because she called me crazy.
He did not call her crazy. She said, you're acting crazy. There's a difference in calling someone crazy and saying that their behavior is showing crazy. Thank you so much, Young Heru. Thank you so much for coming through as well. I really appreciate it. Hey, Kimberly, how you doing, Mama? I appreciate everybody for coming through. I'm a new platform, so the fact that, I was able to get this far, I see this as an accomplishment, and I'm very humble. I'm very appreciative of everyone. Thank you so much. Exactly, Heru. Exactly. There is an obvious difference in a lot of things, and I think with Neo, there's not necessarily that type of understanding.
The things she's saying on her platform about me. See, this is what I mean by it's not going to be a realistic conversation. Now there's more shit to be pissed off about because now she's insulted our sacred relationship.
And this is a clear example as to her response towards me, where she started to add certain things other than just taking what I was stating. My statement was not based upon her looks or her sexual lifestyle. It was merely based upon the mistreatment that I had observed towards these men. And I'll stick with that topic. I won't question whether you're in a relationship or not. That's not my concern, and nor is it an important factor to me. I respect everyone's relationship with their partners, and to include her relationship with her partner would, to me, would be of a form of disrespect, because I don't know her girlfriend, I don't know her partner, and her partner has done no harm to me, and neither is Neo. Neo didn't even respond in a form of harm to me either, and I do acknowledge that, and I respect that as well.
You understand? So now it's Jamie, you're lame, you're less than important. You don't have all it takes. This man need more than you because he has another woman.
Yeah, I ain't say nothing like that. Ask her, how does it feel? Because that's the vibe she getting off in her videos.
To ask someone how they feel about a personal situation in their life, to me, can be a form of deflection, and it can be offensive. You guys, it is nobody's business, especially when you're trying to get a point across. It is nobody's business to try to paint a picture to someone, to your platform, or to your people who listen to you, based upon somebody's personal experience within their relationships. It's off topic, and it's not a great example of one's competency, right?
I ain't say hell. I think she worthy enough to have one man love her unconditionally. You don't think that.
And that is also a contradiction. You want to know why? Because if you thought that, then it would be no need to ask.
That's why you have Lacey. You don't think she's worthy enough. I do. But unfortunately, she don't know that. But it's nothing wrong with Polly when it's done the right way. It absolutely not. But watch how he gonna try to manipulate. Also, you got something against Black cultures and the covenant, and they're gonna talk about how African people have polys. But the point behind that is reason why that happens, because majority of them only have one wife. You get otherwise when you can afford to take care of them, not them taking care of you. It's when a rich man is trying to build a nation or nation building.
It's another point that she's trying to prove within her form of manipulation, is that Kevin is not an affordance of his wives. But you don't know that. No one around you is in a personal circle with Kevin to give these factors. And not only that, it proves no point. Whatever they desire to do as far as the financial status within their relationship, it takes away from nothing that he has stated in defense of his name as far as being gay or possible pedophilia. You get what I'm saying?
It was more for survival. The strongest man with the strongest genes mate more, because women carry kids 9 to 10 months. It only take a man on average 6 minutes to make a child. So that's why poly existed in a lot of cultures. It was for a man who can afford to build his family, not for men just to have access to multiple women to have.
Now, she gave her perspective on that, and I can't necessarily say whether she's wrong or right, because everybody has a point of view, right? But we can also say that necessarily wasn't the case. I can go into defense with that, but what I would advise anybody, if anybody is telling you to believe them, that is when you question them the most. But not only that, but when they give these type of points, what you want to do is do research for yourself so that you can gather your own conclusion, okay? So everybody, if you want to understand what she's saying and determine whether it is a factor or it's just a perspective based upon a learned point of view, then it is up to you to go ahead and do your own research, okay?
Have sex with. That's why he got to keep cleaning it up, y'all. I take care of all the bills, but at one point you wanted to be poly and you was unemployed.
He had a vision, and there's nothing wrong with having a vision. And unemployed does not mean that he was not financially able or capable of doing anything. This right here is what I would call, in short, pocket watching yet again.
He was trying to be poly with 2 females and you ain't even have a goddamn job at that time. Let's keep that real. But I'm telling you, But you see how now he's trying to act like I tried to tear her down, as if she did not fucking call me crazy.
In your house,
Right.
You understand? When polygamy is actually a relationship just like any other family, okay, that people agree to. So
Right,
what she's saying is all these other cultures in the world who practice polygamy, it's because they're not enough for each other. And whatever wife is first.
I didn't say that. I said douche.
That was most definitely her insinuation, and his gathering of that assumption was most definitely on point.
She feel like she's not enough. That was she bitter and mad and pissed off in her videos? Is she mad because how you treated her? Because I really hate with some of these poly men, and you notice they have a lot in common. It's funny how a lot of them are poly, and we later find out they're sexual deviants, right? The funny thing is, if it's natural for everyone to be poly, then why is there such thing as unconditional love, a soulmate love, where there are
Now, everybody, she said, why is there such thing as unconditional love? And I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to continue highlighting this because I want everybody to do their own research and understand when you could possibly be in a situation of manipulation. If there is the such thing as poly, then why is there unconditional love? Unconditional love and poly, they coexist. They go hand in hand. It would make sense, okay? She stated, y'all, let me play it back for you just in case you ain't here.
Cultures in the world who practice polygamy, it's because they're not enough for each other. And whatever wife is first.
I didn't say that. I said, do she feel like she's not enough? That was she bitter and mad and pissed off in her videos? Is she mad because how you treated her? Because I really hate with some of these poly men, and you notice they have a lot in common. It's funny how a lot of them are poly, and we later find out they're sexual deviants, right? The funny thing is, if it's now
what she did just then, let me say that real quick. What she did just then was try to connect him to other people who have been in situations that were not necessarily in a good reflection. Okay. She tried to connect him based upon his own relationship and based upon his insight of that form of relationship, which is not fair because it is not a fact of anything towards him. This is an opinion that is formed based upon certain behaviors and situations that have occurred with other people that is not in connection towards him. That is what we call judgment. That is what we call judgment, you guys. When you judge someone based upon something else that has nothing to do to relate to them. Other people have, it's plenty of people who have just one partner. And that doesn't mean that they're good people or they behave in a good manner. But does that mean that we can assume that everybody that has one partner are bad people? No. Let's understand this, okay? And then the sexual deviation. You get what I'm saying? To try to throw out these terms in order to confirm her manipulation. No.
Natural for everyone to be poly, then why is there such thing as unconditional love, a soulmate love, where there are people who can meet one person and they only love that one person?
You want to have a stance or a debate, an intellectual debate with someone as to how poly can be natural, but we have yet to understand simple terms of unconditional love. You have to define the meaning of unconditional love. And for everybody that was on her platform and who actually listened in, it says a lot. It says that you're listening based upon your own emotions and not with logic, because that was a moment to question. And when you have these questions, these moments of questions, it is okay to start to question this person's credibility, because there's no way in the world that you could be acknowledging the knowledge that you have and have a moment like this where you would state that unconditional love could not coexist with the form of poly relationships?
Person only. They know that they cannot divide their love. Now, there's some people who claim they can do it. Kudos to them. But the truth
You
is,
cannot divide your love, is what she stated, right? That is what she stated, that you cannot divide your love.
is even when you have kids, even though people don't like to admit it, you have one kid that you favor one of another. You don't love them equally. You just say the shit just because it's the right thing to say. But deep down, you have your bias. You even have your favorite child, just like you have your favorite food.
I will always stand against in opposition of that statement, to have a favorite child. This is when you question the credibility of someone that is speaking in the format from of a platform. How can you tell a crowd of people that they would only be able to favor one child above the other? No, that is false. And based upon personal experience, I can stand on that statement that it is false. She went further into another video confirming that she stated that. And everybody, regardless to how you feel towards the people that she is talking about, you have to understand that this statement right here is a major red flag. How can you favor your child, one child above the other, especially when a lot of people have different experiences, and to bring in life? You get what I'm saying? I had one experience with one child. I had another experience with another child. It is not you to form an opinion of favor of which experience is better than the other. It is for you to realize that both experiences were different, unique, and both equally loved. Y'all, that's the end of my live for today. As far as the video is concerned, I won't be exactly what my mother loved all her 7 kids the same. She exactly that's what I want everybody to understand. That was the point of my video that she tried to bring up. I showed you the clip it where she said unconditional love was not based upon a condition, and it was only because you can only love one. That was her defense, right? And that love you cannot divide love. And then she also stated that a parent would have favorite children. That was the reason for my video, and that was the reason that furthered my defense as to why I felt like she could possibly be an agenda pusher, because no one of consciousness would even state that. I don't care what their stance of their consciousness is. Someone of consciousness would never state anything like that, right? Her V Bennett says, yep, her comments make no sense, and I don't think she thinks about what she is saying before she says it. Exactly. There's a difference. And see, that's why my thumbnail is basically saying there's a difference in knowing the information and actually walking in the information. Your behavior, the things that you have been doing, the way that you have been saying things, it's showing that your enlightenment is not of enlightenment, but it's of you just swelling up with a bunch of information and not necessarily being able to place yourself within that information, right? Okay, so with this being stated so far, my stance on her response, I respect her response. I thank you for your response. I disagree with a lot of things in your response. But because of your response, I will not be attacking you or coming for you in that stance ever again. You did acknowledge that I was perfectly able to show my points of disagreement, and I will do that with respect. So if anybody is listening who is in opposed to my stance of NeoX, this is not to target her, but this is just to give my my difference of agreement and my perspective further on this platform. Okay, I'm not offended by anything that she was stating, calling me out of my name, or talking about anything like that. None of those things really matter to me. It doesn't hurt my feelings at all. And I understand that with me setting out to come for her first, I cannot be in control of her response. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not offended. And I also acknowledge the fact that she may have went a little light on me because she felt like I did not fully know certain stories or scenarios. And I acknowledge that, Neo, and I want to thank you for understanding that as well. And I will do further research, and if I find necessary to speak on it, I will. I was deeply concerned about a lot of things that was stated and being done towards Neo, and Neo was doing towards other people. You get what I'm saying? So that is most definitely a genuine concern. Now, when it comes to your childhood traumas, no, I will not. I have not questioned that. And when it comes to your beauty, no, I have not stated anything in opposition towards that. That is not of my character. I would never do anything like that. Young says, all because some men have more than one wife to say that why you hate men so much. Right. You get what I'm saying? And also she stated that she was going to have someone come to babysit my platform. I appreciate the view. If I can say that much, you get what I'm saying? I appreciate the view, but not only that, there's been a lot of threats of lawsuits that I've witnessed upon different platforms and things like that. Neo gave me a potential threat of something that I may have stated. It's a fear tactic. I'm not afraid of anything like that. If you're holding back in favor of my feelings, I would say don't. Teach me something that I was unaware of is what I would say to that. But if you're not gonna make a move on that, I can also appreciate that as well. But in closing, thank everybody for coming through. I will be back with you guys soon. I hope that I made valid points. I hope that everybody got to see my perspective on that response. I did have to wait a while to get that response out, so um, exactly, V. I totally understand. But if there is a need to come back with anything, regardless of whether I receive a response on this response, I won't hesitate to say that. I won't say anything contradicting myself as if I won't talk about this subject or this matter again. The only thing that I'm going to say is that I will not come in the format of speaking to her personally. I respect the people that come to view my channel. So these are the people that I will be speaking to in reference to anything on my platform. Change your mind, change your life.